Hey guys, this is my second video here on my channel Rook2D2. If you hadn't had a chance, please check out my first video. Welcome to my channel Rook2D2. In this video, I want to share with you guys my theory on the importance of openings and my viewpoint on which variations you should choose to play. So, my theory on the importance of chess openings. Lots of players and coaches will say the most important thing you should learn is middle game or end game. What I've noticed through all my experiences is that middle game is very important, and you should devote lots of time to studying it. Now, end game, I would have to disagree. There are lots of opportunities to win a game somewhere within the opening or middle game, and just due to that fact, I think most of your time should be devoted to studying those phases of the game. Now, the higher level you reach, the more time you will have to devote to end games, because your opponents become stronger and are better at holding worse positions into an end game. So, I would say out of the three phases of a chess game, which include openings, middle game, and end game, in order of importance, it would have to be middle game first, followed by opening, and finally end game. You really need to understand all types of ideas in the middle game, such as weak squares, different types of pawn structures, good versus bad pieces. You need to learn all that because what it comes down to is what you learn in the opening goes into the middle game. Strategies you are figuring out in the opening completely relate to what's going on in the middle game. Now, how much time should you devote to studying each phase of the game depends on your current level. Because when you're a beginner, middle game is of huge importance. If you study the opening and don't know what to do after you get out of that opening, you'll just lose. Whereas with an expert level player, you already understand the ideas of the middle game, and you want to keep adding to that knowledge, but it's extremely important to know your openings and already plan how to get into those good middle games positions, the positions you want to get into. So, for experts, openings will have a huge weight. Now, beginners should still learn some openings, but you will want to get out of the opening. Your main focus is just to get out of the opening in a good position. So I feel openings are very important. I know some coaches tell you not to even study openings. They'll just give you a basic opening and they tell you learn all about the middle game and go from there. But you really do need to know specific lines. That's the only way you're going to get out of the opening in a good position and be able to get a good game. So, now let's talk about what variations you should choose to play. My idea here has always been that right now, an opponent you are going to be playing in the future is studying chess. Let's say he likes to play e4 as white, King's Indian defense against d4, and Sicilian Najdorf against e4. That's a common combination. So what he's going to be studying as far as openings go will be all the main lines in those openings. Players choose what openings they're going to play by looking at the main lines and seeing if they feel comfortable in those positions. You know, if 75% of the time you're going to play against main lines, then that's what you should be studying and that's what you should feel comfortable with. So naturally, our example player will be studying main lines from Najdorf, King's Indian defense, and various e4 lines. Now, if he's expecting main lines, why go into what he's devoting all this time to study? It doesn't make sense. The advantages of going into something that your opponent doesn't expect are huge. I mean, there's a psychological advantage of him feeling unprepared. There's an advantage of him not having the knowledge you do in those lines. And there's a time advantage because he will have to figure out what to do, and that'll take time off his clock. Now, I feel that the best way of choosing these unexpected lines is to play a main line, but find a good point to deviate from the main line. That isn't a common move, but is still a very good move. I feel the best moves are those that present a position where if your opponent tries a common theme in that opening's main line, it will be a worse position for him. For example, in King's Indian defense, a common theme is the f5, f4 push, followed by a g5, g4 push. So, just to show on the board here, let's f5, f4, followed by a g5, g4. And he's got ideas. He can even do an h5 push, and he's going to want to at some point either push f3 or even g3. The main theme here is he wants to start attacking on the king side. So if you can find an opening line where if black executes those pushes it'll be bad for him, then I would consider that a great line. And I actually have a line for that, which I will be sharing with you guys in my next video. So if you learn this line and you start playing in tournaments, what will end up happening is against beginners, they will execute that push because that's all they know. They just know that in this opening, they'll get in a position after your move, they won't know what to do, and all they're going to do is the same themes that they've learned in the main line of their opening. So you're going to get a clear advantage against them. Now against experienced players, they may not do that, but you will still get a fantastic game because none of these lines are bad lines. So my whole idea is to play lines that your opponent doesn't expect. As far as this channel goes, those are the lines I will be showing you guys because those lines I've had great success with. The last thing I want to talk about is styles. I do believe everybody has their certain style, and I'll even go as far as to say that I think your style is mostly based off of your personality. My personality is a little reserved, but once you get to know me, I'm really talkative, and I think that best relates to a dynamic positional style. So if you are a beginner, take a look at yourself and really try to see what type of personality you have and choose your openings based off of that. I know this works because I've had students and all of their openings have suited their personalities. Some were really talkative and just go at you type of guys, and some were reserved, and I geared all their openings to those qualities. So with all that being said, the main focus in these videos will be off of my style, since I've devoted so much time to these lines. But I do have lots and lots of ideas for other openings and other styles because I've taught students and I've had to recommend them to play different things, and I've had to learn those lines to help them. So if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. Now, here are the openings I play. As white, I play 1d4 and I go into Queen's Gambit. I play against all the main lines: Queen's Gambit declined, King's Indian Defense, Benoni, Nimzo, etc. And I also play one knight f3, and with that I go for a ready setup, and against queen pawn openings I go for a ready setup against queen pawn openings, and then I go into all the main lines with the hyper modern openings. For black against e4 I play French, and for black against d4 I've played several openings, but my favorites are definitely Chigorin and Knight's Tango, so I'll definitely be going over some of those. Alright, so those are the main lines I play, and they will be the focus of these videos. But for all you e4 or Sicilian players out there, don't worry. First of all, you guys can get a lot out of these videos because as an e4 player, you'll still have to play against French, so it's good to know the best ways for white to play against my lines. And you can get ideas from these videos. The ideas are huge because they're really going to help you with your game. Also, I'll take any requests, so if you guys are having difficulty against some specific openings, leave me a comment and I'll do some research on it. If you have trouble against French, well, I play French, so I know lots of good things to play against it. Well, that wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and list any comments below. Thanks.